Hi, I'm Rob Virdee. I'm Senior Manager Professional Services here at QA Consultants. I have been here for over 3 years now. Different types of test automation are GUI test automation, API test automation, and performance test automation. Basically, these days, test automation can fall into two streams. There's the technical and the non-technical. The technical stream means that you have a development background and that you can get into creating frameworks and basically the guts of the test automation. And you may be working in languages such as Java, C++, or the like. The non-technical stream means that you're more of a manual tester and whatnot, and that you can interface with the test automation via certain front ends that have been provided to you. Those could be Keyword, or they could be Gherkin, or the like. The popular tools out there in the industry encompass two types. Essentially, there's the open source and then there's the commercial. The open source tools revolve around Selenium and different languages that you can use with Selenium, such as Java, JavaScript, C#, C++, that sort of thing. Then there is the commercial tools. The commercial tools revolve around Micro Focus, IBM Rational, Worksoft Certify. There are different tools for different testing purposes. For instance, if you want to do API testing, then you could use SoapUI or PowerSoft SOA Test. If you wish to do GUI testing, tools like Selenium and IBM RFT and HP UFT, those sorts of tools will suffice. If you wish to do SAP testing, things like Worksoft Certify. For Waterfall SDLC projects, test automation typically will be applied toward the latter end of the project simply because it requires a stable GUI for the most part. And just the nature of a waterfall project where you have phase to phase to phase, by the time you're in the testing phase, that is essentially when test automation could start, but even then, a stable GUI is required. For Agile, things are a little different than from Waterfall, in that test automation can start right at the beginning. However, even then, test automation's test coverage may end up being a sprint or two behind, but that's fine because the test automation itself is creating the regressions test set. Test automation can be integrated with project management tools in certain ways. If you buy a commercial tool set such as Micro Focus ALM, for instance, everything is already integrated. For instance, you'll be able to create, you'll be able to run and then review metrics in that same system. If you're using Jira, then there are other tools available such as Zephyr or TestRail, which can integrate with the Jira, but sometimes the integration isn't as clean as it would be for ALM. Essentially, at the end of the day, what you're looking to get is a path, a traceability path, for instance, from your requirements to your testing. So then you can run metrics and you can run the test automation within that framework. Test automation can be integrated into continuous integration and DevOps by taking your regression test set that you've created, that you've automated, taking that in its entirety or taking it in a partial form, and then hooking that into your CI tool of choice. After that, it is subject to its execution upon whatever schedule you have created for that CI tool. I would say the most important metric would be test coverage, essentially test automation coverage. Other metrics as such could be the throughput of test creation, test automation creation that is, the throughput of test execution, and of course defect rate. Test automation can be used for more than just test automation itself. It can be used to set up tests, as such, set the context before you actually run the test, and it can also be used as a test data setup also before you run the test. The future of test automation revolves around two main topics. First of all, the movement toward a more visual interface in creating and executing those test cases, those automated test cases, of course. Second, the movement toward enhancing these test automation scripts via artificial intelligence, using artificial intelligence to automatically help out, assist in the actual creation of that test automation and the execution of it. Skills to develop for the future of test automation and testing revolve around learning how to interface with test automation, being that from a technical point of view or from a non-technical point of view. As such, if from a technical point of view, learning more languages that can be applied to things like Selenium or learning UFT and whatnot. From a non-technical point of view, seeing how you as a tester can interface and use test automation through some sort of interface and still be productive.